So first of all, this is my new design here. I was just looking at this magazine, and after doing this one, I decided, this can be interesting by photograph itself, but when I try to make this to be symmetric by having those two together, it's too much. So I decided probably I'm not gonna do this one. So I'm using this new image and starting to think about how I crop it, right? And of course, thinking about symmetry. It's kind of interesting image because there are two girls, but they are maybe reflection on the mirror. And there's a tattoo on the backside too. And that's also symmetry here. So there's some kind of interesting, conceptually it's interesting, okay? So about this subject with symmetry, you can think about how I do that, right? And you can go like this and having those two heads in the middle. Or if I keep going like that, oh my God, that's scary, right? There's a very fun, creepy creature in the middle, right? And these two girls actually looking at this creepy figure in the middle. That can be fun too, but also I think like let's just look at this to be symmetric this way, and like focusing on this nice shape between those. What do we call it? This part. Like we can focus on this ponytail, making interesting ornaments in the middle. That can be fun too, okay? So I divided into this way with black and white. I had to give up a lot of hairs to make it just black background. And some hair ornaments, I gave up some other around here. So made it much more simple. Okay, I didn't want to give up that tattoo, so I'm still including that. The nose and the lips, this is something I always do. Top lip is always darker, bottom lip is lighter, and having a little bit shadow. That makes the lips more three-dimensional rather than both to be dark. Okay, so let's try to transfer this onto paper. Same design can be utilized, different mirroring like this, right? Facing to each other or facing away from each other, okay? Now, it will be a two-color paper you need, okay? You need a two-color combination, okay? So any color combination is fine. This is not the color subject, so depends on what kind of a color combination you want. But you want to have enough differences between colors, right? For example, if I use this paper and this paper, it's very small amount of contrast between colors. That doesn't make sense. Probably you get some differences, but it's way too small difference. You'd rather have more high contrast by using a totally different darkness of paper, okay? Or same darkness, but a different hue, okay? So just think about just envision what would be the good combination of those two colors for the assignment. Okay, it has to have a good contrast. Okay, sometimes you choose this and become a little bit hard to your eye. It's just looking at it's a little bit difficult to because the values are very similar. It's recommended one to be darker, one to be lighter. Okay, I think that's probably easier for viewer's eye rather than two of the same value. Okay, all right, so I'm actually doing this time with this and this. It's both warm color. One is darker. Red is darker than yellow, right? So I'm just gonna do this combination here. So for this assignment, you need two papers, but one is cut 6 by 12, and one is cut 6 by 6. So I'm gonna cut this one into half. All right, so the reason of one is longer is this is what's gonna happen. When you cut, you wanna show additional color from underneath of that paper, right? So one paper has to be bigger than the other one. Does it make sense? Yeah, so one side, both side has two different colors. Okay, so I'm gonna tape these onto this board, so it doesn't move. Just to be sure you are not taping too much, because you have to remove those. Okay. And now you're gonna do this side or this side, that's up to you. Think about that, okay? Let me just tape this side for now. Okay, so I'm making this like this. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna transfer my core design onto this. Okay. So I'm gonna trace like that, and I'm gonna trace like this, okay? So in order to trace that, I have to shade. Same way of shading, just graphite transfer by using a 6B pencil. You have been doing this many, many times, right? And when you do this, make sure you are really trying to match the corner of the core design to the paper corners. Okay, so just trace this with maybe ballpoint pen. So this is a last assignment in the shape chapter. So everything you are doing is about the shape. Okay. So after this chapter, we're gonna move on to space. And we're gonna do a totally different kind of lecture and assignment. So I want you to really pay attention to what's actually going on in the shape. And this is your last chance to show your ability to find a very good shape and your sensitivity of a shape. Okay, make sure just everything. I think it's easy enough to show this. All right, so this one side is done, being it's a little bit difficult to see. This is already being transferred, right? Okay, so you could just start to cut and paste onto this. But a confusing thing is once you cut, you don't know exactly where you wanna paste onto the other side. So it's good to transfer another image on this side as being flipped. Mirror image should be transfer this side. So after you cut, you know exactly where to paste or glue. Okay, so let's do another transfer by going through, by shading on the other side. Now I have to shade this side. Okay, so I'm gonna transfer again. Again, make sure the corners are matching. Okay, and then I'm gonna trace again. It's a little bit more difficult to see what's the original shapes because already being shaded a couple of times. So it's a little bit harder to see. All right, so what I'm doing here is tracing another shape as mirror image here, okay? So time is coming up, so I'm not gonna complete, but this is where I'm gonna start next time, okay? So you have to finish your core design, ready to transfer, and also choose the two papers, and then start to transfer on those two sides, okay? So my demo continues about cutting next time.